from the rabbit hole. Y'all already know the rules in the rabbit hole, right? Ain't no gravity in the rabbit hole, right? When you jump into the rabbit hole, pause. There's no bottom. So when you jump down there, don't be scared of falling, because you're not falling. It may feel like you falling, or it may appear that you falling, but you're not falling. All you gotta do is reach to the side and pull yourself up. That's it. That's it. And don't panic. So now, when we get into a lot of these discussions, right, we ain't even really dove deep into the discussions. We gonna have people coming up on here talking about certain things on their angles, and it's just with these discussions, it's certain things. It's certain things that we just gonna have to let go in order to let some of this information expand into fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, and seventh dimensions, and so on conversations. You know what I'm saying? So when we talking about fourth dimension, we talking about fifth dimension, sixth dimension, we not talking about some place that you're going to. We talking about how you see things, how you understand things. That's what makes it. That's what make you fourth dimensional or fifth dimensional. Is how you understand how your brain operates. It ain't got nothing to do with all this sci-fi stuff, like you about to teleport somewhere, or it's somewhere that you gonna be, or you gonna, nah, it ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. But the only way we could get to some of the conversations is the certain ideologies that you're gonna have to let go of. Now, I'm not even gonna speak on what these ideologies is. I mean, for the most part, we done all been into the school system, so we all got the same common answers when it comes to certain historical events, when it comes to certain current events. You know what I'm saying? We all got the same answers. But it's certain them ideologies that we learned when we was kids, we gotta let it go. We gotta put them ideologies behind us. You know what I'm saying? So, look, for example, we were talking about, like, and I think I spoke on this before, Superman. You learned about Superman when you was a kid. So if somebody say they Superman, if you only believe in, if you look at that person and be like, oh, well, that can't be Superman because he ain't got an S on his chest and he got a cape on. He ain't got no cape on. He ain't got no S on his chest. He can't stop bullets. So you think he not Superman because he don't fit the description of a character that you learned about when you was a kid. Because he don't fit the description of a character that you learned about when you was a kid, he can't be Superman. You can't be Superman. She can't be Wonder Woman. You can't be Aquaman. I mean, let's look. See, everybody always want to latch on to, oh, well, it was the religion, or it was this, or it's the music, or it's that. And nobody never blaming none of these laws. Nobody never talked about what we seeing on TV. And we learned about all this stuff when we was kids. We learned about all these things that we believe in, that we fight for and die for and work for. We learned about all this stuff as kids. We never got to a point where we was making adult decisions. We never got to the point where we was making adult decisions. Yeah, see, yeah, you know how we, to my early listeners, to the ones who listened earlier, sometimes I ain't even gotta say it. Sometimes I ain't even gotta say it. A lot of things could be said telepathically. A lot of things could be said telepathically. 85% of communication is nonverbal. So it's a lot of things from sports, like racism. Racism. What do we learn racism at? We learn about racism in sports. Why is we even playing sports if they know that certain people is not gonna go to the NFL? It's certain people that not even gonna go to college. Or not even just the NFL, but they just not gonna play professional sports. The whole purpose of them doing that, the whole purpose of that sports system is it teaches uh it teaches that competitive nature. See, you know what? I ain't even about to take it at that angle, because we got to keep in mind that a lot of these things that's been created is only been created to keep us out of handling technology. Because that's where the real power comes from. The real power is in who control the technology, who control the phones, who control the internet, who control the electricity, who control the lights, who control the water. That's where the real power is at, no pun intended. And so now that goes back to what I was saying about adult decisions, right? So the adult decisions would be who control the water, who control the lights, who control the internet, who control the guns, who control the cars, who control the planes. All these things, all these uh all these groups and these cults and these different organizations have been put in front of us so we won't worry about the technology, and so we won't worry about the resources. And now that has become a problem. The system that has been set up has become a problem because now, because of the system not allowing us to be involved with the technology and not allowing us to be involved with the resources, it has put a halt on technology and how far it can advance. Technology can't advance no further because of how people think. And so now you got, now it's certain things being, oh well, you got the UFOs being put in front of us, and that now they want to talk about UFOs because they need people to believe in it so the technology can advance. They need people to think about it. They need people to ponder and wonder about it. They need people to have conversations about it in order for the technology to be unlocked. That's the only way the technology is going to be unlocked. If you got everybody running around like animals, thinking about fucking and thinking about thinking about sex and thinking about eating and thinking about working, then how the hell is the technology going to progress? How's the technology going to progress if the civilization is not being exposed to the technology? How's the technology going to advance? It's not going to advance. And you're going to keep getting replicas of the same old thing over and over again. You're going to keep getting the same old car just with a different body. But it's still doing the same thing. It's still taking you 15 minutes to get from here to there. It's still taking you 30 minutes to get from here to there if you're in the car. So what the hell is the difference of the car from, I mean, you still got Chevys or you still got old schools from the 60s and 70s that's gonna take the same 15 minutes that a Tesla gonna take to get from here to there. Or it's gonna take the same 30 minutes. So the car, so we looking at it like, okay, we see that it's different cars, but the car ain't doing nothing no different from what it did when it was first created. It's not doing nothing no different. It really ain't no different. And then you got everybody talk about the water. Oh, the car running off water. They trying to, man, what you think the car was running off of when they first created it? The car was running off water at first. It was steam powered. That's water. That's what cars was first running off of. They was running off steam. They was steam powered motors. So that's how come you see the president talking about getting rid of the education system. He talking about getting rid of the board of education because the board of education is holding back technology. All the board of education is teaching is racism. That's all it's teaching. How you got kids that's graduating and they going out killing each other after they graduate. You seeing these dudes taking prom pictures and they got their graduation cap and gowns on, and then next thing you know, they out there thugging. I thought at least if you was gonna be out there thugging, you at least not gonna graduate or drop out or something. Like, I mean, but it is smart to graduate, I guess. But it's at an alarming rate when you just seeing a bunch of kids graduate and they going out here killing each other. Now, I could dive deeper into that, but I'm not. No, you know what? You know what? I am gonna dive deep into that because this is the rabbit hole, and that's the whole purpose. It'll be a contradiction if I didn't dive deeper. Okay. If we check the background on a lot of these people out here that's doing these killings, we'll see that, put it this way, it's 3 different type of backgrounds when it comes to, well, I say, nah, you know what? It's 2. I'm gonna break it. I ain't even about to advance it. You know what I'm saying? We're in the rabbit hole, so I'm gonna make it simple. It's 2 different types of so-called, it's 2 different, I'm gonna just say, it's 2 different type of black people in America. 2 different types of black people in America. I repeat, there are 2 different types of black people in America. And this is where all the problems come from. This is where all the confusion come in at. Right? You got the indigenous or original black people, or you got black Americans. Yeah, I'm gonna make it simple. You got black Americans, and then you got African Americans. And what I mean by African Americans is you could slash European Americans, which now this is where the issue come in at when we get to talking about black people, right? And I know everybody been seeing a rise of of all these black European nobles, right? We've been seeing a rise in that. Them are the indigenous Europeans. Indigenous Europeans are all copper-colored people. The indigenous European, the dark-skinned man is indigenous to every land on the planet. North America, South America, Australia, China, Asia, Japan, Russia, all over. It's all, so we got to understand this. We got to understand this. We all on one giant rock, surrounded by water.